Hey everyone, today we have the author of Satyavati, Rupeen Popat, with us. Rupeen, so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
And I'm super excited for this conversation we're going to have. So, to start with, of course, there's a ton of research that goes into the book, into Satyavati and getting to know all the stories. So, I wanted to know, and I'm sure readers want to know as well, what was the one thing that may have surprised you during your research process?
Sure. So, as this book is based on the Mahabharata, and the Mahabharata is been around for thousands of years, and there's more than one iteration. So, and actually, in different parts of India, there's quite a few differences in the way the story is told in the Ramayana and in the Mahabharata. However, I went along, the common consensus a bit more, shall we say, the stuff that's a bit more known around the world. This has been a lifelong experience of research, and that's never going to end. However, for this book, I did have to focus in, of course. And one of the things that I learned about Satyavati is actually a conversation that she shared with Kunti, which is sometimes maybe not in all the texts, or sometimes between the lines as well. But Satyavati and Kunti had one thing in common. And they actually didn't spend that much time together in Hastinapur, in the royal household, based on the generational differences that they had. And they were 2 generations apart, essentially. So one thing they had in common is that they both had a child out of wedlock before marriage. Satyavati gave birth to Ved Vyas, and Kunti gave birth to Karan. And Kunti had the ability to she had a mantra that she could use where she could politely summon any god she prays to in front of them.
Right.
And that god would actually end up giving her a blessing, which would end up being a child. Kunti may not have known at the very beginning that she would end up with a child, because women out of, before getting married, that would be frowned upon, especially then, so much more so than perhaps today.
Right.
But so they actually ended up, Kunti confided in Satyavati that she has this, and actually when Pandu passes and Kunti, just before Pandu passes and Kunti has the 5 Pandavas with Madri, she'd actually confided and trusted Satyavati in that she had this ability, and whether they shared that Kunti had a child or not beforehand is a little grey, so I try not to go into that too much. But the fact that they had that conversation and the trust, and the fact that Kunti could look to Satyavati as the family elder, the matriarchy of the family, and trust her and gain her, and also get support from her, I thought was quite fascinating for her to be able to trust her that way as well.
Right. That's amazing, because finding that kind of a thing in your research must have definitely surprised you quite a bit.
It really did. I actually almost didn't believe it to start with. When I read it, I was like, no, I've not come across this before. Why would I have not known this already? Because I've been researching it. But then I went and checked with my guru, with Murari Bapu, who's extremely well versed in this, more than anybody I've ever met. And he said to me, yes, it's been said here or there that this did happen in places. So I said, okay, I'm going to put it in the book then. And he gave me the thumbs up for it. So it's there.
It's a revelation for you, and it's going to be a huge revelation for the readers as well.
I do hope so. I do hope so.
Yeah. So going deeper into Satyavati's tale, if you could talk about a little on your analysis of how she started off as a fairy woman and then went on to make the most important decisions in Hastinapur. So if you could talk a little bit about that.
You've actually summed up really well. What sort of person goes from being a fairy woman, or should we say a modern day Uber driver, should we say, right, to being an empress, and then the Queen Mother, who's literally dictating how the kingdom is run. So it must have been an awfully scary journey for her. I think that she had to learn quick and learn hard. It's literally a fish out of water in that sense. So it would have been extremely uncomfortable. The circumstances in which she became an empress as well would have made it even more comfortable, even more uncomfortable. But I think she had to just learn as she went. I don't think you get any practice runs in this sort of thing. But I also think that's very much the case with women today generally.
Right.
they have to, it's harder for them to survive in a man's world. It's harder for them to achieve in a man's world. They've got to put more effort in. They've got to be noticed more in the right ways as well.
Right.
And it's harder for them to get credit. And I think Satyavati still hasn't, in my opinion, got the credit she deserved for the good things she did in that kingdom.
Right. And the parallel that you drew from Satyavati to the modern day woman, right? It makes a lot of sense because there are a lot of lessons that one can take from the book. So as per you, if you could have something in there while writing the book that you thought about, this is something that is a direct parallel to what people can take from the book.
Yeah, I think that, not just with Satyavati, but in all generations of the Mahabharata, that their position was being a king or a queen. And the principle, when King Bharat established and got this country named after him, he did that because he always put the people first.
Yes.
And he said the king or the monarch is there to serve the people, not the people to serve the monarch.
Right.
And somewhere down the generations, that value, that principle gets slowly eroded away with time. So I think that politicians today, royalty today, could really take something from that. But people in public service that are there to serve people, that's what they're there for. And by serving the people, you yourself will have the rewards for that regardlessly. But if the goal is how can I reward myself, things don't always go that well.
Right. When you go into it with a selfish point of view, like you said, it doesn't quite end up well. But there's one specific thing from the book that interested me as well, the equation between Bhishma and Satyavati. Now, how would you say, as per your analysis and your take on the book, of how the equation was like? Because as we can see, Bhishma made a lot of sacrifices for Satyavati, and then they still end up being some people that mutually respect each other. And how would you describe their equation?
Yeah, so, I mean, first of all, Bhishma was the crown prince. Then enters Satyavati. Bhishma's father, Shantanu, wants to marry her. I won't draw in too much because there's stuff for the readers as well. But Bhishma sacrifices being the crown prince in order to facilitate his father marrying Satyavati.
Right.
He also gives up the kingdom where he's going to rule. He gives up, he takes on celibacy and he gives up marital pleasures and, the possibility of having children. But not once, in my opinion, did he hold that against her. It's a sacrifice he willingly made and probably would have made every day again for the rest of his life. Even if he knew the consequences, I still think he would have made the same choice.
Right.
So he and also their age gap was minimal, probably. They were roughly the same age. It's hard to know exactly what that is. But he put that aside and he took her and respected her as a mother from the start. He didn't respect her in the same way he respected Ganga, his own mother. He respected her with Ganga, it was more a mother-son loved relationship, the love between a mother and a son. With Satyavati, it was more of a mother-son respect relationship. He fully respected her. She fully respected him. And, there were times I think, she almost treated him like an elder as well. She respected him that much because she knew what he gave up. She knew that he was the most selfless human that's probably ever lived at that point in time, probably. So the respect was there. They both had the mutual goal that the kingdom comes first. Satyavati always put the kingdom first. Those values never eroded with her. She always put the kingdom first, and she made some tough choices for that. So the fact that they had the common goal and the common understanding of how the kingdom should be ruled and how the people should be treated, and they did it in a time where Shantanu passed, then Chitrangada and Vichitravirya, Bhishma's two younger brothers, passed, who were the next kings. So in Satyavati's life, while she was in the kingdom, 3 kings died. One was her husband, 2 were her children. She suffered a great loss. Bhishma lost his father and his brothers. And then there was a time for about a good 20 odd years that the throne was vacant. And they had to jointly rule as as protectors of the realm, waiting for the next monarch to be ready. I mean, that can't be easy. I think it's one of the best partnerships I've seen, not just in our scriptures, but even in modern day life as well. The way that they work together, they didn't really have disagreements. They always put the kingdom first, and I really can't say how much I respect the relationship that they had.
Right. I mean, there's a lot to take from there, and it certainly threw me back looking at their relationship, reading the book, and it was amazing. There's another part now. I do want to know, since we could see the conviction, the way you're talking about the story and everything, that you're really passionate about this. Now, what was one favorite part of the book that you had the most fun writing?
Oh, come on. One part? Look, I'll just go with what comes first. One of the first parts that I really enjoyed getting into was when Bhishma made his oath. I really wanted to speak to the readers. I wanted to pull some heartstrings. These were my goals. You'd have to read it to see if that's been achieved. But this was a moment in history where the earth stood still. I think the definition of the earth standing still literally came from incidents like this. The heavens opened up, the gods were watching on. People from other realms, maybe even the undergrounds had to stop just in awe of what was happening. Like, this was a real moment in history. And in the B.R. Chopra Mahabharata, which I grew up with as a child, you can see thunder and lightning and the soap opera effects, like which gives you an understanding of what they're trying to achieve in that sense. And but to do that without visuals in words it was something I found challenging, because I wanted to do it justice, which I think is probably impossible to do. Right. Yeah. But I've given it my best attempt. That's one. If you don't mind, I'm going to say another.
Sure.
I've had a lot of fun writing this book. It's definitely been I can't wait to write the next one, even, sort of thing. And but another scene. There's so many, but I think that the battle between Bhishma and Parshuram, a student and teacher, to explore that relationship, because Bhishma was Parshuram's favorite student. Parshuram was the best teacher in the art of warfare. There was nobody parallel to him. And when he had Bhishma as a student, he said that I found he made a student that I found he got something that I found he got a student that I feel worthy of calling my students. You have surpassed me as well. And I think that's having a guru myself and attempting to be a shishya. I can't think of anything more proud for both of them that they would have felt. And then for them to have to go to battle together, that's the emotional strings. In today's terms, it's like a child going to battle with their father, and they're both on good terms, and they've got to fight each other. That was definitely emotional. But then I also really enjoyed getting into the creative side of the weapons they were using,
right?
Because in the West, for sure, people don't know what the Brahmastra is,
right,
and other divine weapons and different arts of warfare. I wanted to make it like a tactical thing, rather than making it like a Disney glossy type, dance. Yeah, this was a fierce battle, and there was lots of these are the two best warriors on the planet. So the art of warfare, the style of warfare they were doing, I really wanted to get into that a little bit, and it took a lot of research, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
There's so many more. I don't want to go. I won't kill it. So
no, definitely. I know, because every part of this book, it is a testament to your passion towards the stories, towards how committed you are to all of this. Even the relationship that you described about the guru and shishya that you have with your guru. So definitely, the passion shines through. What can I say? I put you in a hard spot, making you just want to name one part. But coming to another question, I wanted to know now, of course, the book is out. It's on Amazon. It's on every bookstore, everywhere that people can find across India and the Indian subcontinent. But I wanted to know, for somebody who knows nothing about Satyavati, somebody who is just being introduced to it through your book, what would you like to say to the readers?
Okay, so Satyavati's journey is it's definitely a tough one. I previously mentioned it's perhaps a bit like a fish out of water. It's definitely about putting values first, putting the people first, and what the right way to rule. There's some real tough choices in there, and I think that if you look at the choices that are made in this book and in the story, the rest of the story of the Mahabharata, which I'm looking forward to exploring a bit more later on, destiny, in my opinion, doesn't have one point where things change. It's an accumulation of different small steps and lots of different choices that take you down a predetermined route.
Yes.
And that's what this book, I think, will demonstrate, is that the subtle choices on the spot that have to happen. Could it go one way? Could it go another? And it does lead you down one particular path. So I think the grey areas of the choices are quite interesting, because the readers should be saying, oh, but why didn't they choose this instead? Or why didn't they do that instead?
Right.
And, it's a series of choices that equals destiny, basically. And sometimes I think, as human beings, we have choices in what we do, but, sometimes it's hard to ignore the fact that destiny pulls us in certain places as well.
Right.
So I think that sometimes we are tied to a path, and make the most of it and enjoy that journey while you can, because life's not going to be much fun if you're miserable during that.
Exactly. Right. It's been really fun talking to you, Rupeen, about Satyavati, and I'm really excited for the readers to dive into it, get your copy right now, and, get into the land of Satyavati.
And leave a review.
Yes, definitely leave a review. And I think Rupeen is really active on his social media. So if you want to send him any kinds of messages, he's really open to questions and,
Absolutely.
debating back and forth, talking about the story of Satyavati. So feel free to hit him up as well.